This is Becoming, the podcast for leaders to think differently with actionable tips in 30 minutes or less to claim your intuition, your influence, and your agency. And finally, get to the truth of what stands between you and who you are meant to become. Many of us believe that once we become that future self, then we will be happy, successful, and complete. This podcast exists to shine a light on the truth that the time is now and your future self can be who you become today. Let's dive in. Welcome to Becoming. I am so excited to begin this journey with you. So let's dive in. We are starting this podcast with a very special series that I wanted to put together to really kick us off. The following 8 episodes that I've recorded are what I believe to be the 8 things that consistently stand between where you are and what and who you want to become. I received the inspiration to package this content in this way because in my journey, I had realized that these concepts were taught individually. But when I put them together, I started to have a completely different experience. I started to have more expansive breakthroughs. I started to have sustainable transformation and lasting transformation because I was really dealing with the root. And so that's the inspiration behind why I package these teachings in this way. When I talk about the root, what I mean by that is seeing the original piece of what's going on. When I talk about the root, I want you to think of a garden. Think of weeds in the garden. If you go and you pull a weed, if you just get the top of the weed, the root is still there. It can spread itself and create more weeds in the garden because the root was not pulled. Similarly, when I talk about these 8 addictions, we are talking about the roots of the weeds in your garden. These addictions are the roots of the weeds that stand behind where you are and who you want to become and what you want to create in your life. So when I talk about the root, that's what I'm referring to. So why am I calling them addictions? Because we are unconsciously doing these things. And we are addicted to the feelings when we do these things. And so when we bring attention to these concepts in the form of them being addictions, what we're doing is we're bringing a level of awareness to what we're doing in the form of labeling it as an addiction, because when we label it as an addiction, it's extreme, right? Because none of us want to have addictions. We want to be free of these addictions. We want to be free to choose, right? We want agency. We want to move through the world empowered. Well, when we refer to these as addictions, it gets our attention. It gets our attention so much that we don't want to continue doing them. And so I wanted to explain a little bit more about why I'm calling the next 8 episodes what I am, so that you can really understand the method behind the magic, right? The method behind why I constructed it in this way. So as you listen to these next episodes, I want you to keep in mind that one of the most powerful things you have at your disposal at any time is the power to make a new choice. Even when life feels like that's not true, that you don't have the power to choose, there is choice. There is an opportunity to make a new decision. So keep that in mind. Additionally, as you listen to these next 8 episodes, keep in mind that you may really relate to one of the addictions and a few of the others don't. But keep in mind that when these are combined, that's when they're most powerful. Because a lot of times we may think that we're addicted to the stories we tell ourselves, but we don't understand that that story is deeper because we feel victim to our circumstances. Everything that I'm about to present to you is intertwined. And so going through the episode and really taking in that singular episode is super powerful, but the magic is when you put them all together. So do keep that in mind as you begin. Here is what happens when you start to see what's running in the background of your subconscious. Here's what happens when you start to see what's happening unconsciously. You get to put the damn bag down. You get to put your baggage down and see how you've been moving through the world. You get to put the bag down so that you can be the real you, the you before the world got its hands on you, before you became the conditioned you. You'll start to experience a lightness, a fresh perspective, and you'll start to live without the conditioning. What this means is you will begin to claim your magnetism. Your magnetism is your power to create life on your terms. That is what claiming your magnetism means. My goal for this podcast is to reveal what disconnects you so that you can see the truth and be free. Because when you shine a light on the truth, you can't unsee it. And that is the goal of this podcast, is to unearth things that you haven't considered, give you a new perception and perspective so that you are empowered to create change in your life and make a meaningful life and become everything you are meant to be. So as you listen in, see if you can observe that maybe you've overcome one addiction, but you didn't realize another. Try combining them, see how things click, see what ahas you have, and how collectively, when they're all put together, they give you a newfound sense of freedom. So I will be joined on future podcasts with my MP, which is Master of Podcasts, Abby, along with exceptional experts in various fields of expertise. Be sure to tune in regularly because we are coming for your awakening so you can become all you are meant to be. Are you experiencing change and breakthroughs as you listen to Becoming? If so, show us some love and hit the subscribe button, leave a review, and share an episode. I love bringing this content to you each week, and together, listener by listener, we can wake up the world. See you next week.